Greetings, greetings, greetings to all my sisters and brothers. This is unique. I am a DNA messenger. I came here to plant seeds on the DNA that it's going to grow one day. I've been doing videos on cultivating female sexual energy. I've been doing videos on talking to our wombs. And yesterday I posted a picture on a couple of Facebook pages that I follow referencing shrinking fibroids, making reference to where I am mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. I'm at a great place and I'm very excited. And a lot of sisters are asking, how did you shrink the fibroids? How do you know that they're shrinking? And I'll be glad to answer that question or those questions. First of all, as I've mentioned before, sisters, you have to convince yourself that you can heal. Now, first, let me rewind. Keep in mind, I've had 3 blood transfusions. I've had 3 different visits during those transfusions where doctors have come to me and asked me to take my womb. They even did a procedure where they're supposed to cut off the blood supply. None of that. First of all, I wasn't going to allow them to take my womb, my uterus, my ovaries, none of that. I felt like the fact that the doctors were telling me that they did not know what caused the fibroids, they cannot tell me that there's no cure. If you don't know where the cause is, then you can't tell me there's not a cure. And that's what kept playing in my head. Plus, the Creator showed me a vision of me having a set of twins. I don't have any children yet. So as these doctors were approaching me and asking me for my womb, before I broke down too much, I remembered the vision that the Creator showed me. You're going to have children. So if you allow them to take your uterus, it's not going to happen. So I decided to look into the natural way. First of all, to find out what causes them. And then once you address what causes the fibroids, then you can address healing. So let's get to the healing, sis. And brothers, because you got to pass this information on to your sisters. You have to pass this information on to the mothers of your daughters, because we can nip it in the butt early. And we have a lot of girls that are having menstrual cycles at 8, 9, 7 years young. That is a breathing ground for issues, female issues later in life. It's not cute. It's not natural. Nor is it going to be any good for that little girl as she grows into young adulthood and becomes a full-fledged adult, and she's been bleeding out and giving away iron, calcium, magnesium, everything that we give out in our cycles. We're not supposed to have these heavy bleeding cycles, and fibroids and ovarian cysts and tumors are not natural. Not even bleeding in our womb once a month. Hemorrhaging blood in the womb is not natural, but I'm not going to address that right now. I'm going to talk about the fibroids. And again, sisters, I know where you at. I know where you've been, and I know where you're going. You have to know that you can heal. You have to know that you can heal. First of all, get a picture of the uterus. Get a picture of the ovaries. Imagine your womb so that you can see it. You're getting the picture so that you can have an imagery of your womb. So you'll know what she's supposed to look like in pristine shape. A lot of you have been to the doctors and you know that you have cysts. You know that you have ovarian, you have fibroids, you know you have cysts. So what you have to do is imagine your womb without those ovaries and those. Imagine it as if it's healed. That's at the top of the list. Okay? But that's physical. I will bet my bottom dollar that most women that have fibroid tumors have been molested and have been sexually abused. I would imagine if 100% of black women or women in general that have fibroids, 95% of those women were touched. That's the psychological start of fibroids. That's what happened to me. And it was somebody that was close to me, very close. And I'm like, no. And it caused the womb to clench. It caused the lockup in my womb, and my creative life force energy can no longer flow naturally. I'm not knowing this. I'm a child going into teenage years, not knowing that I was saying no to my creative life force energy, which caused the cysts. And then it caused the fibroids, because fibroids are cysts that's out of hand at this point. And I had a bunch of them, sis. So first you have to address that psychological issue. You have to address that abuse that happened to you. You have to forgive. And you have to let go so that that energy can flow naturally. You have to forgive and you have to let go. And some of us don't even know that we haven't forgiven. I thought I had forgiven that person. I was no longer hating men. I was no longer hating the way they smell. Yet I still had the fibroids. I still had the heavy bleeding cycles. I still couldn't even appreciate a healthy sexual relationship with a man. They couldn't get me off. So I still had that slick subconscious healing that needed to take place. So the first thing I told you at the top of the list is imagining yourself heal. But first you have to address that psychological reason that it happened, and you have to forgive so that you can release that stagnant energy. Then you have to visualize. People speak about visualizations. We're in the age of Aquarius right now. We're in the age of information. You are what you think. And you cannot just visualize it. You have to feel as if it's healed. You have to feel as if your next cycle is going to be a natural cycle. You have to feel it. Once you are feeling it, your higher self does not speak verbal language. It speaks energy. So it feels the way you feel. So it's going to give you more of what you're feeling because it feels like that's what you want. So it's feeling like you want to be healed. So it's going to bring you healing. So you have to know it. You have to feel it. Feel as if it's already done. You're seeing a healthy uterus. Your healthy uterus. Okay? Your healthy fallopian tubes. Your healthy eggs. That's energy there, and it's stagnated. That's why we're bleeding. That's why we're hemorrhaging. And that's why we have these knots that they call cysts and fibroids. That creative life force energy is stagnant. So again, you have to forgive. You have to address the issue, the reason why it happened. It may not even have been a molestation, a pedophilia. It could be a past lover that you harnessing hatred, that you're harnessing a specific dislike and a feeling for that person that's not natural. Anything that you're holding in that has anything to do with sexual energy, it's stagnated in your womb. So you have to release that. Okay? Diet, sis. Fibroids love milk, alcohol, processed foods, meat. You're going to have to eventually get off of the meat. Because you can get rid of fibroids. They have had many women that have had surgery and the fibroids come back. Because there's cellular memory there. And you're constantly feeding them. So of course they're going to come back if you're still eating cheese. I love cheese. It was at the top of the list. But they're pumping hormones inside the animals that are throwing our estrogen levels off. And on a physical level, high estrogen, and you're already producing estrogen, and you're taking in foods that are high in estrogen, is going to throw off your hormones. So therefore, you're feeding the fibroids. You have to stop feeding them. I'm going to tell you what fibroids don't like. They do not like a holistic diet. They do not like an alkaline diet. Sickness can only thrive in an acidic womb. That includes fibroids. And most of what we're suffering from starts in our gut. And there's no coincidence that our gut is right here by our reproductive organs. Ladies, so you have to stop feeding the fibroids. You have to stop giving them foods that they're liking. The number one is dairy, milk. Stay away from soy. Even if you're looking for alternatives, soybeans are horrible. They're high in estrogen. They're man-made. They're not creator-made. So soy is not better. It may actually be worse. That's just like going from table sugar to aspartame. Okay? They both evil. So you have to give up the dairy. You have to give up meat. Meats putrefy in the system. They take too long to digest. Plus they pumping the cows and stuff with all kind of chemicals. And plus they dying under stress. So if you're trying to release stress from out of your womb, it would make sense not to add more stress. So you have to go on a vegan diet. It's up to you. Fibroids do not like alkaline. They want to survive and I call them they because they have a life. You ever had them that move around on you? Trust me, sis, I know. They wanted to take my uterus. I told them, hell no. My uterus came with me and it's leaving with me. I also know that you can heal with sexual magic. Okay, I'm single right now. So I don't have a mate that we can isolate that energy, that sexual energy up and down the spine and use sexual energy to heal it. So if you do have a mate, you're in a monogamous relationship or you're in a relationship, a friends with benefit relationship, and this person is willing to learn breathing techniques that is going to take to use that energy to heal you, sis, that's one of the fastest ways to manifest it. But good luck with trying to find that with men because nowadays that we're lower nature. Most of the orgasms don't happen above the lower chakra, the sacral and the solar plexus. It don't go up to the heart and all of that. And that's what you're going to need it to do in order to heal. And if you're anything like, I'm going to just say, I have special powers when it comes to sex. So it's hard to find somebody that's going to focus and stay focused on the healing. So I had to do it myself. Okay? But if you do have a partner, look into methods of sexual healing. And you can use sexual. When I get that feeling, I want sexual healing. Sexual healing is very powerful. It's one of the most powerfulest energies that we can tap into on this plane. So if you sisters are in a relationship, start talking to your man about different methods. Pray about it, put it in the universe, about different methods that you all can use together to cultivate that sexual energy so that he can help you heal. And he can heal himself of all kinds of things that may not even be at the surface right now. Okay? So again, sister, no matter what the doctors tell you, most of them are going to want to take your uterus. It's profitable. Plus, there's all kind of healing cells inside of that uterus. And they don't know, according to them, they don't know what's causing them. So what I will tell you is that it's psychological. You cannot treat the physical without treating the mental, and you can't treat the mental without treating the spiritual. And spiritually, I guarantee you, 95% of the time it started with something that happened that caused us to clench our wounds. So you have to deal with what caused it, address it. It's going to hurt. You're going to bring some things to surface that you may have, some of us even forgot about it. It may be past life trauma. But you can deal with it and you can heal. So on a spiritual level, you have to address where it came from and what happened. Mentally, you have to know that you can heal all things. The Creator is wonderful, and the Creator is having an expression of life within each and every one of us. So we have part of the Creator within us, and we definitely have that healing portion where you could tap into that healing light. So know that you can heal. See the uterus heal. See yourself heal. Feel as if it's done, because it is. And your higher self, which is in direct communication, in direct contact with the source energy, what people call the Creator, the universe, it's always connected and it lives in the present. So it's going to give you what you focus on. So know that you are healed so that it can bring you that healing, and it's going to start talking to you. Don't eat this. Don't do that. Stay away from that. Get you some parsley. Get you this particular, mix some cucumbers with, what's a good one? Beets. And I'll do a video on, matter of fact, I'll put it in the notes. I have a great juice. I'll say a blended mix with 4 different vegetables that you can drink daily, except for when you come into your cycle. You got to know your cycles too, sis. Here's one last note real quick. And I will put the information on this particular blend inside the notes. You also have to know that we're not just in this body. We are not. It's not that we're not in this body. It's just that we're not this body. So you can heal it. So you have to address yourself as if you're already healed. Your diet has to change, sis. You have to stop feeding the fibroids. And they love junk food. They love chocolate. Chocolate has milk in it, sis. And we always crave that on our cycle. Isn't that something? We crave the stuff that we don't need. I hope this helps. I'm one talking from experience, not from what they told me. I've had family members and friends and associates encourage me to have a hysterectomy. You got me messed up. My babies ain't gonna come through. Plus, I mean, that's our creative life force energy. How dare I, knowing that I serve and in communication with a divine creator, how dare I doubt my healing? So know that you're healed. Heal yourself. Talk to your wombs. That's where I was about to go earlier. Talk to her. Know where she's located and rub. In the morning, you are healed. I love you. I'm sorry for what you went through. I'm sorry for what I put you through. I'm sorry for the mates that didn't deserve you. I'm sorry, and I'm releasing any pain that I'm harboring. I love you. You're so beautiful. Talk to your womb like you talk to your children. I love you. Or like you're supposed to. She loves that. She's going to respond. Oh, snap. Okay, she loves me. She don't hate me anymore. She don't hate what happens to me. She don't hate what happened to me. She loves me. And that's going to bring more love. That's going to bring more healing. That's going to bring your higher self to telling you what to do and what to take to heal her. And your lifestyle as far as the things you eat has to change. There's one thing to get rid of them. It's another thing for them to keep coming back. I love y'all to life. Until next time, peace.